All right, hello everyone, and welcome to Blue Raider Extra Point. I'm Dylan Simmons alongside Ryan Martinovich and Jay Standridge. We're coming to you live from the MTN Sports Den. We're serving up another Saturday spectacular for you today as we have more football action. Let's start by taking another journey around the CUSA with our guy, Jay Standridge.
We are down to the final 3 weeks of the CUSA football, and there's still some potential mix-up in the standings depending on the outcomes this week. These last few games are going to be filled with high intensity and competitive football, so let's take a look at the CUSA action. Another week in the books, and the same story stays true.
Lineman into the game on his first down play.
Play fake by Shoemaker, throws across the middle, touchdown Noah Smith. Field goal does you no good.
The Bearcats are coming off their first win versus Kennesaw State and are looking to streak late into the season. Senior quarterback Keegan Shoemaker found his footing against Kennesaw, throwing for 3 touchdowns and 242 yards. And the team mounted a 10-point comeback late in the fourth, and the energy is riding high for the end of the season. The same cannot be said for La Tech, as they're coming off a beatdown 56-30 from the Liberty Flames, and that dropped them to 3-7 and officially eliminated them from bowl eligibility for the season. If they want to finish on a high note, Coach Sonny and the Bulldogs will have to tighten up on defense, plain and simple. They allowed 30 points per game this season and almost 400 yards total. Even with an offense that fares well against most, it's still not a winning formula. As for the other matchup today, we'll see 2 top-half teams in the New Mexico State Aggies travel to Bowling Green to play Western Kentucky. The Aggies are riding high on a 5-game winning streak and stay in that hunt for the second spot in the conference championship. With Diego Pavia leading up this offense, the Aggie squad is dangerous, especially with how hot they've been. Add in the shining defense, allowing under 20 points in 4 of their last 5 wins, Jerry Kill has really turned this program around in his first 2 seasons with the team. As for Western, they look to secure a bowl game with a win in their last 3 of their games. The only problem standing in their way is themselves, and their defense allows the most yards in Conference USA, and has given up 27 points per game. So if they want to make it to 5 straight bowl games, they got to clean up that rough defense.
Yes, sir, Jace. Absolutely love to see that. Some great stuff overall around the Conference USA. Some great matchups coming to you today. We'll get more into those later. But for now, FIU has been smoother than their Vice City jerseys this year in several wins this season. Now they're looking to do something that they have not done since 2018. That's defeat the Blue Raiders. Here to give us a look at all things FIU, it's Mr. Ethan Odom, who has this week's scoop.
I am here with James Cosme today from the Florida International Panther Now. This FIU team faced off against a very good Jacksonville State just about a month ago. What do you believe are the main results that will improve, especially moving on to another grand week of football?
I believe really, especially with FIU, that they're slowly building a culture.
FIU has carried on with a very sturdy game plan and has seen a total of 2,016 yards this season by utilizing the offensive spread technique. Quarterback Keon Jenkins currently leads the team with 1,682 passing yards, and wide receiver Chris Mitchell is shown to also have high statistics, receiving at 820.
Any win or any successful offensive game plan that FIU implements, all season, anytime we've needed a big play, it's mostly been Chris Mitchell. They found something late in the game with the other quarterback, Grayson James, in their last matchup, and I think if they can get it done with either of them, and I think it will revolve around that offensive game plan going through Chris Mitchell as well.
Thank you, James, for being here with us today. Now back to you guys.
Thank you, Ethan. Excellent as always. This Saturday is going to be special with a lot of great matches up on the menu, and when we come back, we'll see more of those magical matchups in picture and color. When we come back, we hear about Blue Raider basketball splashing back onto the scene in Week 1 and a very special Blue Raider spotlight. That's coming up next on Blue Raider Extra Point.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody, to Blue Raider Extra Point. Dylan, how about you take us through this week's Big Blue Review?
As well.
This week's Big Blue Review, we have a look at Blue Raider basketball devouring opponents like the Papa John's Pizza in the first week of college basketball. Let's get right into it. First up on Monday night, Blue Raider basketball finished a win like Larry Wilson at the CMAs. First up was the Lady Raiders, who were quick to put the pedal to the metal on their opponent, the Memphis Lady Tigers. The first quarter was like a rewind to 2022, as the Lady Raiders jumped out to a 25-11 start, and from there, they never really looked back. MTSU's defense was especially suffocating down the stretch, as they held Memphis to just 10 points in both the third and fourth quarters. Didn't stop there either, as Memphis was held to a 26.8 shooting percentage and committed 20 turnovers, which the Raiders turned into 25 points. Anastasia Boldareva was a human wrecking ball in the paint, as she posted the first double-double of the year for the Raiders, a 23-point, 12-rebound performance. Jalen Gregory also lived up to her preseason hype with 5 steals and 10 points off free throws in the contest. Perhaps the most gratifying performance was from Tania Scott, who had 8 points and 10 rebounds in her first ever start. It was the personification of a complete performance for middle in all facets of play.
The double team finds a cutting Johnson.
Men's basketball was not to be left behind either, and pulled off an equally impressive victory over a first-round opponent in the Northern Kentucky Norse. The defending Horizon League champions would seem to be a tough task on paper, but the Blue Raiders put that paper in the shredder with a first half for the ages. The Raiders made over 50% of their first half shots by going 16 for 31 from the field, while simultaneously holding the Norse to a 6-20 performance in the first 20 minutes. Of course, with an opponent like NKU, you have to finish the job, with the Raiders would do in style on the way to a 74-57 win inside the glass house. The final stat sheet read like a blueprint for offensive production. Elias King and Cameron Weston were a dynamic duo once again, as they each put up 14 points, and were held by most of the team, as 9 of the 11 Raiders would score at least 2 points before the night was over. The punctuation mark on a perfect night was Dalen Jordan checking back into the game after being gone for 971 days due to injury. Both teams now look to make their names feared long and wide, because the raid is not even close to complete. And guys, these Blue Raiders are proving that they are going to be a force to be reckoned with in 2023. Love what they've been able to accomplish so far and can't wait to see more.
Absolutely. Yeah, just glad basketball season is kind of back in check, and football season, of course, coming to the end, but Great opportunity, guys.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, Blue Raider men's basketball had a heck of a Monday night this week as well. However, Thursday night proved to be like a drama article from TMZ. Today, I will give you a first-hand look at Thursday night's game between Middle Tennessee and Stephen F. Austin, courtesy of MTN Sports. It was certainly a party inside the Glass House Thursday night. However, would the Raiders clean out the competition? As Middle Tennessee tipped off against Stephen F. Austin, there was no doubt about the theme of this game. This matchup would be determined by nothing short of sheer physicality. It was both good and bad for the Raiders, who were boosted by points from the charity stripe, but were also, well, trampled on. After struggling in the first half, the Raiders found their mojo in the second stanza, with more consistency than the sun rising in the east. Jared Coleman-Jones, Justin Porter, and Elias King put on dynamite scoring performances that proved that you need a telescope to see the stars they have become. Middle also used their new tool, the free throw, to cut into the Stephen F. Austin lead. At the end of regulation, one last shot from Porter rimmed just out, meaning that this game would be headed to overtime. In OT, Stephen F. Austin flexed their muscles early, but Middle remained calm and collected by staying the course. When all was said and done, a combined 27 points from Elias King and Jacob Johnson, as well as complete play from the rest of the Middle roster, made the difference in a 67-62 victory. After the game, head coach Nick McDevitt took stock of just how good their opponent was.
The way Stephen F. Austin guards you, they're going to kind of run you out of your stuff. They're not going to let you run your normal offense. You can kind of take most of your playbook and get rid of it for that game. And so you just got to be able to handle pressure and be able to pass and catch the ball.
In Murfreesboro, Dylan Simmons, MTN Sports.
Thanks, Dylan. I'm really excited about this team starting 2-0 against tournament teams last year. I'm excited to see what they can do for the rest of the season.
Yeah, they've been putting on some incredible performances, Jason. What we've seen so far, this looks like a team that has resilience and perseverance, and that's going to be crucial going down the stretch this year. All right, so we've got to take another quick TV timeout. When we return, Ryan will give us the gift of knowledge about FIU, and we will have our keys to succeed. We will be right back on Blue Raider Extra Point.
Son, love is like the ocean. You have to tread the waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Jessica, will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. So sorry. So sorry. Maybe it's just a little more. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Natural disasters are a fact of life in the U.S. And between activities and school, chances are you won't be with your kids when they happen. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids can help your children feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin. But
I'm going to drive home. There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely going to call a ride home.
Welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point. It's time to send it over to Ryan Martinelich, who has this week's scouting report. Ryan, what do you have for us?
Yeah, guys, the Blue Raiders are back at home trying to win their third game of the season at Johnny Red Floyd Stadium with the Florida International Panthers as their roadblock. FIU comes into Murfreesboro looking for
certainly helps. You got a running quarterback. You see the heavy formation on the left side of that line. Webb's going to fake the pitch. Webb dancing forward.
26. They got a gift first down on a roughing the kicker. Jenkins, that ball floats up in the air, was deflected, and the
6 already has 2 interceptions on the year.
Program moved up to the FBS level. As we get
the offense is being ran by true freshman quarterback Deion Jenkins.
Pressure coming. Jenkins go.
Jenkins, the lefty, looking to throw. Rolls out to his right, squares his body, delivers downfield. Caught by Patterson. Patterson.
And inches. Trying to push forward. Did he get in?
And 10. Play action. Jenkins keeps it. Fires it to the sideline. Interception number 2.
Bit of effort to get in the end zone. Jenkins on first down. Immediately going to the end zone, and he's got it. Chris.
Jenkins unloads downfield, and
now here comes the high-paced Jacksonville State offense, and Anwar Lewis gets the carry to the outside, picks up the first down.
Approaching the 9-minute mark. Here, Shoemaker takes it himself.
Ball number 6 and number 10.
Third down and 4. Shoemaker to his right. Pass complete. Smith to the end.
Petway. Here's Webb. Dumps it off to Brown. Brown trying to make a.
Shoemaker escapes, and then he's brought down. Open field tackle. Donovan Manuel.
Get your name called on the national broad.
The Panthers, you really have to, like I said, put pressure on Vadiato and kind of shut down their air raid attack. But at the same time, you know, the Blue Raiders have struggled offensively despite coming into last week's game against New Mexico State, putting 35 points up against Liberty, who had one of the more vaunted defenses in CUSA. So it's going to be interesting to see how this game plays out, especially with the Blue Raiders being a 10-point favorite, despite being 2-7.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you talked about last week kind of being the game that it was. I wonder if that's going to be the exception or what we'll see in the future, especially with this game coming into today. That's going to be the big question, this one. All right, Jay, so the Panthers are on a prowl right now. What keys will MTSU need to keep FIU from hunting them down?
All right, my first keys to succeed is a better running game. The MTSU has a split backfield between Frank Peasant and Jalen Credle, but they need to have a better running game in between these two. 2, they need to create turnovers. With Trey Fallow in the backfield, as a defensive back, they need to create turnovers. Along with my third key is to stay consistent. This offense has put up 35 points per game, or points against Liberty, but then had 7 against New Mexico State last week. I mean, where's the consistency right here? They have to stay consistent.
Yeah, all right, so I guess I'll go ahead and give out my little keys here. So obviously the big thing you want to do is you got to start as fast as humanly possible. You need to get out to a 2 or 3 score lead because you have seen the Blue Raiders fall on so many hard times in the second half. So having that extra line to kind of cover yourself going into the second half is going to be very important. So a couple of touchdowns early will be key. Obviously avoid drive stallers. That's another thing we've seen last couple of weeks, right? Where you have too many 3-and-outs on back-to-back possessions, also kind of hurting your chances, especially when you're in third and fourth quarters. And the third key right here is help Vadiato. All right, he can't be the only one. We've seen him pretty much be the leading rusher at times throughout the season. So, like you guys mentioned, you really have to improve that backfield, get help from Peasant and Credle. But you know, Elijah Mitchell can't do it on his own on the wide out position for the Blue Raiders. So it's going to be very important to help Vadiato out.
All right, I'll springboard off that into my keys. First up, I've got sack race. FIU struggles immensely, and you talked about this in your scouting report when it comes to protecting the quarterback. This offensive line, like you mentioned, has given up 29 sacks in 9 games. That's going to be something that Middle's defensive line can take and use to their advantage. Keon Jenkins is one of the biggest pieces to this FIU offense. They need to get in there, rattle his cage a little bit, put pressure on him, because we all know that if quarterbacks have pressure and they've got guys going at their face, 3 guys, 4 guys at a time, I don't think you're going to be able to make a coherent decision because you're just trying to chuck that ball, get rid of it. So that's what Middle Tennessee needs to do effectively in this game. Second, minimize Mitchell. Chris Mitchell, like you mentioned also, is really what makes this FIU offense tick. He's the main man, 820 receiving yards this year, and Dean Patterson, the next closest guy, 330 and 20 receptions. So he's really, really good. If you take him away and put that secondary on him in a big way, you're going to make it to where FIU becomes a lot more one-dimensional and not the offense that they need to be. And for my third key, we need to push the ball somewhere else. That's what needs to happen. Little Patrick Starr reference. Last week, we saw the ugly side of the Middle Tennessee offense. And then we can all acknowledge that there were some offensive issues coming off the bye week. The great thing, though, it's a new week and it's a new team. And FIU has had times where they've struggled on defense. Plus, we know this Middle Tennessee offense can generate points. They had 30, 31, and 45 in 3 of their last 4. They can definitely do that again. And I think we're going to see it when all is said and done at the end of the day. All right, so great stuff, guys. When we return, we will have our picks of the week. And we'll see what all happens in the future. That's coming up right after this.
Son, love is like the ocean. You have to tread the waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Jessica, will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. So sorry. So sorry. Maybe it's just a little more. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Natural disasters are a fact of life in the U.S. And between activities and school, chances are you won't be with your kids when they happen. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids can help your children feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Welcome back. It's now time for everyone's favorite segment, The Picks. Let's go. First up, we've got Sam Houston looking to shock Louisiana Tech like an electric fence. Jace, who are you taking in this one?
Sam Houston is coming off their first win against Kennesaw State, which is coming to the CUSA next year. But I think Louisiana Tech pulls this one out. The Bulldogs get it.
Wow.
Yeah, and of course, as the game's going on right now, and currently Sam Houston State does have a 7-3 lead on the road in Ruston. I do think it's great that Sam Houston has finally gotten their first win, still looking for their first FBS win. And you had made it mention about Keegan Shoemaker. He's been on another level for the last couple of weeks, really running that offense well. However, it's one of those things where I still have more faith in Coach Sonny Cumby and Hank Bachmeier on the other side for Louisiana Tech to really kind of push the Sam Houston defense around a little bit, especially in the second half. On a 3-point win against Kennesaw State, yeah, they're coming into the FBS, but they're still an FCS school with 2 wins. Not much to show for Sam Houston, so I will say I'm picking the Bulldogs to come back against Sam Houston.
Going with the Bulldogs. I'm going to say this. La Tech has been on a bit of a free fall lately. They've lost their last 4 games, and they've been looking like the team that we thought that they could avoid being early on in the season. The thing is, I still see the potential that they have. And they've shown it many times this year. They've hung with teams like Western Kentucky, New Mexico State, taking these teams to the limit. I think the problem with the Bulldogs is that they can't finish games. It's been plaguing them all year, and I think it might affect them a little bit in this game. Now, Sam Houston is coming off their first win in the FBS entirely, like we just mentioned. So, huge achievement, round of applause for Sam Houston getting the job done. Now, the question is, can they keep that streak going after the win over Kennesaw State, future CUSA member, by the way? And that's the question. Can they keep it going? I think that we have seen they've had bad luck this year, though. They've had as much bad luck, in my opinion, as a black cat owned by Donald Duck, okay? It's bad luck. But we saw what Keegan Shoemaker was able to do. 242 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns against the Owls. I think if they keep that up, it opens up Pandora's box. Keep that streak alive. I think they will. Give me Sam Houston. 23-19, they get the upset and their first ever Conference USA victory. All right, guys, next up, New Mexico State takes on the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky.
This game, I'm really excited. I honestly don't know who's going to win, but I'm going to go with the Hilltoppers. I think they need one more win to get bowl eligible, and I think that's what they do this Saturday. They get their bowl eligibility. They go for their 5th straight.
Okay.
Hilltoppers get it done today.
You know, I don't know if anyone thought where this game in the middle of November would be where it stood. With a 6-3 New Mexico State and a 5-4 Western Kentucky struggled offensively. And it's really been the Aggies offense that has kind of shocked USA, especially with the Deposits. You mentioned it's really been a front runner to Salter for probably CUSA Offensive Player of the Year and probably CUSA Player. He's been tremendous athletes, despite being only 6 foot. I mean, he's pretty much got Russell Wilson energy written all over him. He's a tremendous guy. I do like the Aggies, though. I think with the struggles we've seen with Austin Reed and the Hilltopper offense, I do like Aggies coming in. It's going to be close. I do think that, but probably high scoring. Give me Aggies by 3.
Ooh, Aggies by 3, okay. Well, I will say this. New Mexico State continues to prove that they are a team of destiny this year. I mean, we already mentioned it on CUSA All Access, what they did at Middle Tennessee. They really took Middle Tennessee, took them out of their offensive element, and even when only scoring 13 points, this team just finds a way to grind out victories. That's their biggest thing. Guts, heart, passion. That's what New Mexico State exemplifies. And we saw what Pavia did last week. He was somewhat controlled. 60 for 31, 220, and an interception, and yet they still found a way to win. However, their top rusher only had 68 yards. That is going to be tough to overcome in this game, especially against Western, who has a really dominant offense. Now, our old friends 100 miles down the road in Bowling Green, like you mentioned, they haven't been getting the job done lately. And they really have been overpowered in most of their games. And their defense, guys, it's cause for concern, to say the least. 127th overall still in total defense. That's not going to cut it. And last week against UTEP, the offense was stalling out. They couldn't get anything going. I think it's going to come down to who gets the better offense. Give me a shootout, and I do think Western Kentucky finds a way, 45-41. And last but not least, guys, Middle Tennessee versus FIU. What are we thinking?
Middle Tennessee's hosting their salute service today as Veterans Day. I think the Blue Raiders get it done. They are 10-point favorites against FIU. They haven't been this big of a favorite since Murray State earlier this season. I think Middle gets it done on the ground. I think they roll into their 3rd win of the year.
I think that you mentioned the 10-point favorite, but they opened as an 11.5 favorite. And of course, that Murray State game, yeah, they were favored, but Murray State, another FCS opponent. I do think that it's going to be a lot closer than the 10-point spread. I do think that if you're a betting person, go ahead and take that cover of FIU. Do I think they get it done? Do I think the Panthers get it done in Murfreesboro? I do. I think the Panthers are going to get through the defensive line. They're going to run it with Shamari Lawrence. I think Keon Jenkins is going to actually have a comeout game. I don't know why. He kind of struggled the last couple of games. Now, another question is whether or not he will start a Grayson James. Because Grayson James came out last week just in their losing effort at the last time out against Jacksonville State.
That's the question.
So it's going to be about who will come out. But I think if Jenkins starts, I think FIU gets it.
Yeah, and I'm going to make this really quick here. Middle Tennessee is going to get the win. They will clean them out like some. I don't even know if I can show the product, but you know what this is. They're going to clean out the competition and get the victory. It's going to be an awesome job, Jace. Back to you.
Before we go, make sure to follow us on our social media platforms. You can find us on X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Thank you, Jace. All right, we're just moments away from kickoff. For that, you'll need to tune over to ESPN+. That's going to do it for today. Dylan Simmons, Ryan Martinez, Jay Standards. Thank you all so much for watching. We will see you next time on Blue Raider Extra Point.